general nerdery.
So the way this book was recommended to me, and the way I sold Tyler on doing this episode, and the way that pretty much everyone, as far as I can tell, has recommended this book, is 3 words. Lesbian Space Necromancers.
Yeah?
And yeah, that's the exact response. That's the exact response I had. And we're like, I don't know if this is good based off those 3 words, but it's something I'm definitely going to fucking read.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I was like, oh, okay. Well, that could go either way, but let's find out.
Yeah. Welcome to General Nerdery. We are your generals of nerdery. I'm Zach.
I'm Tyler.
And with us once again is friend of the show, Brianna. Áine.
Hi.
I'm sorry, I'm just going to call you Áine. I give up.
Do it.
It's the downside of knowing people through Wappy Bats. I have everyone's names wrong.
Welcome back. It's been a long time.
Thanks. It has been
Oh, God, since before
like
the
almost
pandemic.
a year.
And
Or
this will
early
hopefully be
stages of the pandemic.
this will hopefully be a much happier episode than, by the way,
Your fave is problematic.
some people suck.
Necromancer Space Lesbians!
Or as I like to call it, giant sword lesbians.
Yeah.
I mean, really,
Well, part of the point is that the sword wasn't as giant as she would have liked, but
Yeah, that's true.
she's giant though.
it keeps making me think of that book you kickstarted or the back to the Kickstarter of the tabletop game of Thirsty Sword Lesbians, because that pretty much describes our main character to a T in this book.
Yes. I'm not going to say that's where Thirsty Sword Lesbians came from, but I'm not going to say
You're not going to say it's not. Before we get there, what have we been ingesting lately, I suppose?
I finally beat the main quest line for Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Wow.
And it was awesome. Now I'm starting in on...
awesome, or was it were you just suddenly like, oh, this is done now, I guess?
Have you played this game before?
I've played through the main part, I think, and then it was just kind of done, and I didn't know it was over.
Okay, so that's actually good. Parts of the ending feel rushed, but I was going into it, I guess, thinking already about the fact that there's going to be at least 3 DLCs.
Yes.
So, possibly more. They have said this is going to be the first Assassin's Creed title that they're going to support past a year.
Wow.
So, I don't know. I do feel like there's part of the story that still needs to be resolved, but I really liked where it's going with the crazy meshing the mythic and the sci-fi aspect now.
It's a popular move with Norse stuff.
And I also, like, it just reminded me a lot of the game Too Human from Silicon Knights back in the day that I loved, but it was not a great game. So,
Oh, no.
and I read this novel.
Yeah, that's fair.
it
It's a little
hasn't been
harder
a
when we're
lot.
doing novels, because, like, you have to, like, really invest some time as opposed to, like, 2 episodes of a TV show.
Yeah, and it was great, like, but that was also, like, most of my Saturday was just, like, laying around and, cool, I'm gonna read.
Yeah.
Let's see, well, we gotta start doing Belagarth again, so both Áine and I are very sore from hitting each other with foam sticks.
I made it up the stairs, so that was exciting.
I haven't read as much as usual this last week because allergy season hit and I live next to hayfields now. And I straight up spent like 3 days just on the couch. I think I was watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine, but to be honest with you, I'm not 100% aware. Also, if I keep making gross noises, this is 100% why. The inside of my lungs look like pollen now, and that's not a good thing for me. And I went and saw In the Heights.
Oh,
Went to the theater for that. It is so fucking good, Tyler.
I'm going to watch it. I have to admit, my intensity for wanting to watch it has been a little bit quelled lately with some of the conversation surrounding it. And
That's fair. There was a conversation about the fact that it's not. Correct me if I get any of this wrong. It's not whitewashing because it's still predominantly people of colors, but it's very much lighter skin tone for all of the major characters. Anyone who's black was a background character. None of the major, well, other than Benny, but that's like specifically part of Benny's thing.
Mm-hmm. And they're
It's all very light-skinned Latinos.
And it's kind of, I don't know, like, it's not enough to completely put me off of it, and I don't know. I've seen a lot of people going weirdly at Lynn for it, and if anything, it was the director's choice.
Well, and even Lynn was like,
yeah, no, that's fair.
That's fair. And actually, John M. Chu, who directed it, was also pretty. I think my privileged place if I am a very straight white male. I think that their responses have been pretty like, you're right. We should have done better. We're sorry. We'll try and do better. It is one of those that I'm like, I don't disagree with anything you guys are saying. But also, damn, all of those actors did such a good job in what they did.
Yeah, and it's just, at this point, it's become one of those things, like, I talked about it when we talked about Into the Spider-Verse. Like, I usually, like, jump on immediately any extra Latine representation. Like, part of it, like, Miles absolutely is Latino, but I want the Afro-Latino kids to have him first. Because they don't get as much shit. Like, I've always... Whenever I have seen Latino representation, it's been light-skinned for most of my life. And, like, they don't get that. And I want to make sure that they get a chance before I'm like, oh, no, he's part of me, too. He is part of me. But I don't need to, like, try to get there first.
I get that.
I still have Miguel in the Spider-Man comparison, so...
Yeah. He's so good, though, guys. Oh, my God, it's so good.
So good.
And it's like, I left... Because we watched it at the Roxy, which, if you don't live in Missoula, is our local, like, nonprofit, small-scale, like, old-school theater. And then we were walking back to Bonner Park, which is a few blocks away, which is where we parked. And, like, getting out of there and, like, walking through on a summer night. And we're like... I'm, like, being reminded why I love my hometown in the same way that the, like, pure love of Washington Heights with its positives and negatives shows through that entire movie.
But I'm still probably going to get to it within the month. Like I said, it's just been weird because every time I've thought of it, I've been like, oh, yeah.
I have almost paid you to go. Like, to be honest, I almost was like, Tyler, we're going on Saturday, and then we will just come record a review.
And then it didn't help that, like, okay, I was like, oh, I'm going to do it. And then, like, on Colbert, Rita Moreno had to bring it up out of nowhere and just...
She didn't do a great job there.
No, and it just reminded me of it all again. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to play some Valhalla again tonight, and then I'll get to it later this week.
She was basically like, shut up and stop, like, you're overreacting to this. And later on I was like, okay, so I was wrong. Sorry. Because she was trying to defend her friend, I assume, but, like...
part of the problem was she brought it up out of nowhere.
Yeah. God, that's gotta be awkward. This is the thing I think about with late-night TV shows. That's gotta be awkward for, like, Colbert. There, who's suddenly like, well, I guess this is happening. Like...
Anyway, I love her still, though, too. It was just a bad moment. Whatever.
People are complicated. That's part of the message of In the Heights.
Yeah. She's still amazing, though, and I also have to understand she came from a very weird time period where she was actually having to get, like, makeup put on her to be darker because people did not accept light-skinned Latinos at the time in film. So...
Yeah, I can see that being complicated. Jesus Christ. Áine, what about you?
I've been reading textbooks, basically, because I've turned into a nerd. Since last I was on this podcast, I've been studying Irish paganism. Ooh. And so I've been reading a lot of Irish mythology and, like, academic papers about Irish mythology and taking classes. And that's pretty much what I do with my free time now.
You say this like it's a bad thing. You're on a podcast called General Nerdery.
It's great.
You're home here.
It's hella nerdy. I'm so excited. Speaking of Valhalla, I'm so excited for the Irish DLC. I haven't played it yet or downloaded it yet, but I'm very excited for it because I've heard good things about it being accurate enough that people weren't pissed off.
I haven't...
Which, with Celt fans, that's it's kind of an accomplishment. I'm sorry, I interrupted you there.
Well, I was going to say that's what I've been getting into this weekend, but I haven't done enough of that section of it. There's also a whole new mechanic with, like, setting up trading posts and stuff, and you get a lot of gear that way, so I've been going super hard into that aspect of it.
That's fancy.
Yeah. It's something I kind of wish they would have had in the game the entire time, but, you know, it happens.
Part of the problem, this is segues, but it does connect in, and it's kind of a thing. Part of the problem for general nerdery for me is as I'm going through these episodes, I have the thought, that's what I should do tonight after work. Because we record this on my Friday. Going into my weekend, I never want to, like, I'm never going on a hike after this. I work an 8-hour day, but, like, so far, since I've gotten to Tyler's house about an hour ago, I've gone, I should watch Last Jedi tonight. I should watch WandaVision tonight.
You should watch WandaVision tonight.
I should watch Ted Lasso tonight.
You should watch Ted Lasso tonight.
I should play more Spider-Man Miles Morales as we're talking about that. I should play some more Assassin's Creed Black Flag. I have like 4 hours of consciousness when we're done.
You should
here.
watch Ted Lasso tonight.
And like there's too many good options.
Those are all good options. Just do them all at once. It'll be fine.
I used to be able to play video games and watch TV simultaneously.
Whoa.
I don't know if I
same.
could anymore. But 3 TVs would make my brain explode.
Yeah. Damn.
I also just realized that if I had gotten into that section of the Wrath of the Druids, I still wouldn't know if they were accurate or not to any of the shit. I don't know that shit, so...
I'm on it.
Yeah,
All
you'll
over it.
have to come back and just let me know. That'll be fun.
Now I'm just going through the druids that I know of in fiction being like, that one's bad, that one's bad.
Pretty much all of them are bad.
Dr. Druid's the worst in like 8 different ways.
Oh, and I mean, just because we're going to talk about giant sword lesbians today anyway, like, Eivor is canonically female.
Yes. Love it.
So, there is that. Throwing that out there.
I played Eivor as hella gay, and I also
Yeah.
played, I can't remember what
So did I.
her name was, but in the Greek one in Odyssey previously,
Oh,
also the gayest because it's the Greeks, and you're just
Yeah. Cassandra.
oh yes, Cassandra, thank you. So gay.
I did an Alexios playthrough, and he slept with everybody. Anyway.
I'm just trying to think of the last game I played where there was much in the way of romantic options. Because they're available in Fire Emblem 3 Houses, and I'm like, I'm your teacher. Like, I know I'm supposed to be canonically the same age as you. Like, we're both 17, but also, I'm your teacher. And then before that, it was like the Old Republic. And I super banged my Padawan in that. So, you know, apparently I have, like, defining levels of where this is okay. But, like...
Is that past ingest? Did we get everybody's ingest?
There's been a lot of ingesting to take in right there. News.
News. What do we want to start with on our
Let's go with-
news
I
test?
always kind of feel like we should start with Reed Richards because we rarely actually know what we're talking about with the science one, so maybe we should just get on through.
Cool. Well, researchers were able to recreate a bird song by reading only its brain activity. They reproduced all the vocalizations down to the pitch, volume, and timbre, and it is sort of maybe the first step towards developing vocal prosthesis for humans that have lost their ability to speak.
Okay, so they just like looked at the brain basically. I mean, through fancy
Kind of.
sheets.
So, I was reading what one of the actual people that worked on the paper was saying about it. It's still a very, very tentative first step because this was a super invasive procedure where the things were, like the electrodes that were getting the readings, were embedded into the brains of the bird. We're not going to do anything like that with humans, and the human brain, especially just isolating what the speech parts would be, is a lot more complex. But, I mean, we scanned a bird's brain without it saying anything and recreated even the timbre. So, that's amazing.
It's pretty wild.
Yeah, that's really interesting. It's kind of horrifying, but it's
Questionable
really interesting.
methods aside.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Welcome to science.
Yeah.
So that happened.
Okay.
I guess that's the science news.
More cast members have been announced for Our Flag Means Death, which is the Taika Waititi pirate comedy coming out on HBO Max.
That's right.
And we're calling this our Ben because you and I cannot stop talking about Taika
Right.
and never, ever will.
Never should.
Taika Waititi, along with writer-showrunner David Jenkins, are working on HBO Max period comedy series. So it's a TV show of some kind.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming kind of it's going to be like The Mandalorian. Like, here's 10 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Christian Nairn, who I believe is Hodor from Game of Thrones. I know he's Game of Thrones. Nathan Fode, Samson Kayo, Rory Kinnear from Penny Dreadful, Con O'Neill from The Batman, which isn't out yet, so that's not wildly helpful. Vico Ortiz from Vita, and Garrett Bosch and Dan Halstead are going to executive produce alongside Watiti and Jensen. The series stars Rhys Darby as Steed Bonnet, whose real-life adventures will loosely serve as the basis for this series.
That's exciting. I know a very, very tiny little bit about Steed Bonnet, and I love Rhys Darby, so this is going to be insane.
I really like pirates. Blame Muppet Treasure Island, but like classic romanticized pirate, just inject that shit into my veins.
Does that mean pirates are coming back? Because I feel like it's been a while and
Did
it's
they
about
go
time.
away?
I mean, they
I guess
didn't
they
go
sorta
all the
did.
way away, but there was that whole, like Pirates of the Caribbean inspired obsession
Everything.
when everyone was like super into
When we
pirates.
suddenly realized we were all just like liking Jack Sparrow, and I'm like, I get it, but also there's other pirate things.
There are other pirate things.
Awesome. I guess for our hot and new, I didn't choose anything specific because no. This is going to make more sense. E3 just happened. I didn't want to narrow it down. There was a shit ton of stories. I wanted to throw it out there to you guys. Was there any gaming news that came out of E3 that perked your ears up?
I have watched literally one thing from E3. Breath of the Wild 2 trailer. And it's coming out next year. And I was like, cool, I got everything I need to know.
I feel like I saw one like teaser for something that someone was going to talk about at E3. It could have been BioWare. I don't know who else I would have been paying attention to.
I'm excited that someone somewhere did a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's fine. And then I mean, look here. And then for me, they're going to be putting out a remastered Diablo 2.
Oh, I knew they were doing that.
So I'm probably going to end up going hard on that because I loved Diablo 2 back in the day, but admittedly really sucked at it. And I think I could do better now.
Okay. So 2 things here. One, is it like, when they say remaster, are they going to completely rework the system? Or is it going to be like Diablo 2 but prettier?
It seems to be mostly Diablo 2 but prettier, but like from the get-go with all of the things that they decided to fix throughout its life cycle, like that's where it started.
No, what
and
I
then
mean
they'll
is
just
like
be
the skill tree.
fix
Is
it
the
from
skill
there.
tree still there as it is? Because that is like the most important part of this phone.
Yeah, as far as I know, the skill trees.
Welcome to like one of
Yeah.
the only games in history that I'm actually passionate about.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I mean, I didn't look up super specifics, but I don't know why you would change that of all things.
Well, they did for Diablo 3, and
Right.
suddenly I did not like
I think they didn't upgrade it to the Diablo 3 system from what I understand.
I might list Diablo 2 as like my favorite game of all time. Like that is the game that I put fucking hours into. And it's one of those that I'm sure if I watched like a streamer play, I'd be like, oh, I was terrible at that game. But I could also beat it with my buddy. We would do like speed runs. That's the only game in history I've ever done a speed run on.
Once again, guess who was terrible at Diablo 2? This guy. Guess who's horrible at using necromancers, but insists on trying to make that his main in every game that has a necromancer?
Bone magic, son.
I know. I'm just... Diablo 2 is like the one game where I naturally gravitate more towards Paladin. It's really fucking weird.
Or sorceress for me. It's necro or sorceress. But
So, Oridin.
if we ever do YouTube pages, a YouTube page for this show like we've talked about, or for this network, I would stream some goddamn Diablo 2. I feel vaguely good at one video game in my life.
And then the other thing that perked my ears up is that Hades is finally coming to Xbox, so I'm finally going to get to play it. I've only heard like amazing things about the game from the same developer. I played Bastion, and that's one of my favorite games ever. I can't wait to actually play Hades. It's going to be great.
I haven't even heard of it.
I know there's a game named Hades, so I'm somewhere in between the two of you.
Yeah, it's a roguelike, which I don't know if I've ever actually played a roguelike, thinking about it, where you're the son of Hades, and it's supposed to be...
Are you telling me there's a game where you're Damien Hellstrom, son of Satan?
Kind of?
And
I think
you haven't been telling me about this?
I think his name is Zagreus.
Oh,
But not Damien Hellstrom, son of Satan?
Nope, I want the red leather pants and the upside down, and not the upside down just the pentagram.
But the gameplay is supposed to be engrossing, the character's amazing, and it's also supposed to be, like, in a fun way, super horny. So...
That doesn't surprise me.
I'm super curious. Anyway.
For our last one, we had surprisingly little news for a week that E3 came out, just because we don't talk about video games a lot. They have announced that Final Fantasy IX is getting an animated series made. Revealed by Kidscreen, it is a collaboration between the Paris-based Cyber Group Studios and Japanese video game publisher Square Enix. It is aiming for the age range of 18 to 13, and is one of my other favorite games from childhood.
I don't know if I ever played 9.
You're fired, man. No, you're our editor. You're not fired. Please don't. Please stay. I did read, while reading up on this, being like, what the hell? Like, that's amazing. But reading the plot to that game, going, Final Fantasy plots are garbage.
What's the plot to 9?
Quote, Final Fantasy IX tells the story of Zidane Tribal, a thief who gets hired to kidnap the princess of a kingdom, only to discover that she wants to be smuggled out of her country anyway. They are joined in their escape by Steiner, an overprotective knight, and Vivi, a timid but powerful magician with the stature of a small child. What begins as a simple kidnapping eventually turns into a grand quest to save the world, as the crew encounters many more colorful characters and monsters during their journey. But that also leaves out the fact that, like, Vivi's the only surviving black mage of, like, his village were all wildly murdered, and Zidane has a tail for reasons that nobody knows, and there's a fox lady that they don't even mention, and there's the, like, swamp monster blue mage frog lady that dresses like Little Miss Muffin sat on, what is that?
Little Miss Muffet?
Little Miss Muffet sat on a muffin. Yeah, that.
Tuffet?
Sure, whatever. Obviously, I do not know what I'm talking about. I'm just trying to explain a gingham dress and a shawl. But like weird blue frog lady wearing all of that, who eats things to gain their power, and her tongue hangs out. The game's perfect. It's just absolute nonsense.
All right.
It's the only game that I ever got into, like, the side game card game, like, that they feel the need to, like, Gwent, but not.
Mm-hmm. Gwent.
Or whatever the stupid underwater football thing was in 10.
Blitzball, which became super easy once you got the jack shot, but anyway.
Yes, but I was bad at that game and didn't like playing it, so guess what I was terrible at? That's our news.
That's the We're already through the news?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I guess.
I think we're all tired today, and as I said, my insides resemble one big pollen, so,
Just one big pollen.
Let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll talk about thirsty sword lesbians. Well, Lesbian Space Necromancers.
And talk more. We've already been there.
I'm going to bring it up. I'm just excited.
As soon as we, like, take our quick pause, Áine picks up her water jug, and it literally has a sticker that says Sword Lesbian on it. And I was like, I picked the right guess this week. I have chosen well.
I don't have a thing. What are you talking about?
I had never heard... I don't remember... Someone recommended this book to me, and it was just on my wish list. I'm like, on Audible. I'm like, I don't even know what this is, as I'm, like, digging through. And I was like, oh, I wonder if Áine's right. And you're like, yes. This is Lesbian Space Necromancers. So, had you ever heard of this book before?
I had heard of it briefly in passing when it first splashed onto the scene because it got super big critical acclaim in 2019.
Okay. I know it was, God, what's the writer's name? Tamora? No.
Tamsyn Muir.
Ah.
Tamsyn Muir. This was her first novel. The second one has come out, I want to say.
Yeah, Harrow the Ninth.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it has.
So, good recommendation there.
And next year, the last part of the trilogy, Electo the Ninth, should come out.
Electo the Ninth?
Yes.
Okay. I haven't read the second one. I honestly have not read the last 10 pages of the first one. I know what happens. But,
Okay. I need to get this out of the way.
okay.
This book for me was Breaking Bad. It's got all the critical acclaim. I loved it. Like, I did love it. And I understand why everyone else loves it so much, but I've never read a book that I was so fucking infuriated with, like, for 90% of the fucking time I was reading it.
Accurate.
I was fucking
Don't read the second
infuriated
one,
with
then.
this book.
Just with, like, people making
Just some of the
stupid
weird
choices?
choices. Here, no, not stupid choice. Here's the part of the infuriating thing. I feel like all of my problems with it are just weird little nitpicks that won't matter to anyone else, and so that's why I understand completely all of the love for it. But I could not fucking stand being stuck with Gideon as my viewpoint character through this fucking book.
Okay, let's do a quick summary of this book, and then we're going to talk about what has you literally shaking in your chair here.
Oh. Anyway.
I don't even wildly disagree with you, and I still really like Gideon too, though. So
I love the
Same.
character of Gideon. I hated being stuck
Yes.
with her as a viewpoint character.
Okay,
Yes.
so first off, how do we want to describe Gideon the Ninth in more words than Lesbian Space Necromancers, but not, like, giving it all?
It's a little bit like...
It's a little bit like Clue.
Well, I mean, it's post-apocalyptic. It's kind of got the dystopian thing going. It's a little sci-fi. It's a little fantasy. I would argue it's a little more fantasy than sci-fi.
I would argue
other
it's a
than
lot
just,
more
like,
fantasy at this point than
fantasy
sci-fi.
in space.
It hits grimdark at levels of, like, Warhammer 40k.
Yes.
Because this is about an intergalactic... I think intergalactic?
No, it's one star system.
Okay, but the Emperor is beyond the star system.
Right.
A space empire of poorly defined size based off of necromancy is the general thing. And it is living, and despite the fact that it's a space empire, we seem to be in a such period of decline, because they're like, even the great powerful houses, and you realize they all, like,
Everything's just collapsing.
suck and are falling apart. Yeah. That a lot of old school things beyond just feudalism has come back. Like, everyone's using swords because guns almost feel like lost technology.
Yeah, there was one point where Gideon's like, a gun? Whoa, I've only heard of these.
This is weird. I wonder if it works. The swords are all still sharp. We never find out.
That's true.
Yeah,
they
they
just
literally
kinda
had
walk
Chekhov's
away
gun
leave
and
it
then
there.
didn't. That had to be on purpose. Like, with being that on the nose. Your nostrils flared when I said that.
I know, because I hadn't even thought of that part. Anyway.
Now we're going to be mad about that too. Thanks.
As we discussed in the Wonder Woman 84 episode,
Oh, God.
you can enjoy something that's bad and you can have negative opinions on things that are good. Like, the good versus bad status and the I liked this versus I didn't like this are not identical graphs.
Right.
And I'm actually somewhere in between. You are, like, vibrating in joy. You're vibrating in anger. And I'm like, this was fun. I'm annoyed at myself because I planned to listen to it over, like, 5 days. Because it's, like 16 hours of audiobook. But then the allergy attack happened and I slept for 3 of those days. So I'm like, all right,
Here
it
we
is
go.
Friday at 2 o'clock and I have to have this done by Monday at 3. Let's go.
I will say, this came at the perfect time for me because I've been dealing with some knee issues and I couldn't go to the gym. So I was like,
Yes, I'll
cool. I guess I'm just going to lay down in bed for a bit.
Oh, no. So terrible.
A little bit closer on who the characters are. The main character of this is Gideon. Who
Gideon
we will
Nav.
discuss your thoughts on, because I actually really want to hear about this in a moment. Gideon Nav is a servant for the 9th house of the weird necromancer cult. I kind of get the feeling that each house has their own planet and it's basically just our star system, but we're not talking about it. And they're basically on Pluto. The head of this dying household gets called to the first house where she can possibly, like, if they uncover the mysteries, she can become something called a lictor.
Serving the Emperor.
You become a Space Marine instead of an Imperial Guard. I'm going to try to not use too many 40k references because I don't play that game.
The lictors, the description kind of reminded me of, what's the name of the official name for the Voltron pilots?
I don't know.
Like, that's what they were kind of, like, we're in service of this to protect this, and, like, sort of be the
See, I kind of thought of the Power Rangers, and, so I see what you're saying. Like, yeah. They are, the right hand of the
they were the paladins in
in
Voltron, yeah.
Except, like, the opposite, because they're fucking necromancers.
Well, again, we do have to say this is a... Morality aside, this is a world where necromancy is not just, like, accepted, but the dominant force in the galaxy.
And kind of, like... And also the religion, and... Just...
This is not
everything they do.
This is not almost every D&D book where they're like, well, you can play a necromancer, but everyone will try and kill you if you do. But it's an option. Everyone's like, no, it's a fucking requirement here. It's which was interesting. It's kind of gross. Not like at no point too like explicit, but the words blood sweat is uncomfortable to me, and they use it a lot.
Yeah, see, that's part of... I was all up in all that.
As I was reading that, I was like... I didn't know what you thought of the book, but I'm like, Tyler's gonna fucking love this world.
Mostly, there was a little bit overuse of skulls for me. It was a little bit gaudy, but...
First book.
They paint their faces like skulls. I mean...
I do gotta say, for a first novel, this is a really impressive, like... Okay, so tell me, Gideon Nav, who is it starts with she just wants to get away from the house, and she's trying to escape with her sword and her dirty magazines.
She's an indentured servant, and she basically was just kind of dumped in the ninth house.
With a mysterious past!
Yeah.
Anyways, okay, so Tyler, what is it about her as a narrator that bothered you?
Okay, so I guess first off, I will say that my first choice of narrator is always going to be a character who is competent and in the know for the most part.
So,
not
her. We should say Gideon is extremely competent at what she's been trained at.
Yes.
Just everything that she's been trained at
Which is hitting,
not what's happening
it's
here.
hitting shit with swords.
Big swords.
Big swords. A big sword.
Now, I don't mind a character who is not in the know if they gradually come to be in the know and I get to come to know the world with them.
Yeah,
part of the plot of this is that she is like almost intentionally kept out of the know
on everything.
On every level.
All the time.
Really by the end of the book when we're going to get into a little bit of spoilers here. When she makes her sacrifice, she's literally the only character by that point who it makes sense to get rid of. Because of how little she knows and because of her being the viewpoint and never being let in on most of this stuff, I don't feel like I actually got to know the world.
Yeah. The Clue comparison is obnoxiously apt. Like, I'm almost a little mad at you. I'm like, hey. Oh, fuck, you're right. There are people from... The first house is the House of the Emperor. She's in the ninth house, and we meet houses 2 through 8 as well. Each one brings a necromancer and a... Cavalier, thank you. Who is the sword person who protects the necromancer.
And for like 480 pages, we're told that they all have a specialty without even being hinted at what they are.
Yeah, they have mentioned... I'm sorry, what were you...
They're kind of vague about, like...
But the houses are all super blurred together.
It feels a little bit to me like the author was torn between doing, like, Harry Potter level, you're in this house, so you have these traits, and, like, not doing that.
Yeah.
I think the problem for me is it was too many houses to try and keep track of, because there were characters I really liked. Magnus, who fucking kicks the bucket. Almost everyone dies in this book. Spoiler, too bad. but he's one of the first
necromancy.
ones.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, it's grimdark necromancy book. Like a lot of people off it, but like Magnus, I really liked him as a character. I thought he was super because he's like kind of the older man who's sort of he's not actually a dad, but he has dad jokes and he is like the nice uncle to some of the others who enjoys like making his basically teen nephews squirm. And as someone who has nieces and nephews, yes,
The
please. Making like 15-year-olds embarrassed is just like nicely, not like bullying, but like
Yeah, actually, the amount of houses kind of reminded me of like all the different squads in Bleach, and it almost would have worked.
Naruto had the same problem.
Yeah, except like in Bleach, you get to learn all of those characters over the course of 2 seasons by the time you meet all of the captains and their lieutenants.
Well, and the advantage of when a shonen manga does that, because shonen manga loves doing that, is you can see them. Like they are, right here in front. In some ways,
And
I
they're
think
usually stylized very wildly. So.
And that's what I was going to say. They tend to be pretty visually distinct. In some ways, I kind of feel like Gideon the Ninth is better. The story they're trying to tell is almost better built for like a shonen manga or an ongoing comic series than a novel. Because there's so much happening and it's so hard to
It's
like...
hard to keep up with the world.
Let's see if I can do this. I'm just curious at this point. The second house was like the military people.
Yes.
Third house was...
The twins.
the twins.
Oh, right.
With the douchey sword fighter guy as their companion.
Yeah, Babs.
Who I really... I'm not just going to critique this book, but I am going to critique that we never got a moment of Gideon actually kicking the ever-living shit
Thank
out of
you.
him.
Thank you.
yes.
That pissed me off so much.
Because she set up for it. Like, they have this... that early spar in, like,
If this would have been a real fight, I could have took him, and then we never get the real fight.
Yep.
I mean, she
That's
did kind of take him, just it was against the rules.
I really ill, and she's like, he would have won the fight. And he's like, no, she wouldn't have. That's when you show us this fight. Yes. This, like, I think I would have liked Gideon more if we got more times where she's a badass, because we get told she's a badass a lot. But by the time we actually get to see it, and, like, by the time she gets to pick up her big two-handed sword and do badass lesbian sword things, the power level has risen high enough that, like, she's not Krillin from Dragon Ball Z. Apparently, this is just a shonen manga. This is what I'm realizing. But, like, she's not like Krillin, you blink and she dies, but the other person is summoning, like, giant skeletons on a whim. Like, there's only so much you can do at that point.
Oh, I longed. I mean, I'm going to read the sequel just because I longed for so much of this book to have it just been from Harrow's perspective.
So I want to give a warning about the sequel, because I have read it.
Okay.
Prepare to not have any idea what the fuck is going on ever. Like, that book made me feel like I was crazy. So just a heads up, it is a ride. But it's not from Gideon's perspective, so there you go.
I feel like there's still an amazing mystery going on, even from Harrow's perspective, where we don't have to be left so much in the dark with Gideon.
Well, and
we
it would have
could
made Harrow's transition from, like, straight up sadist bitch to they totally in love much faster?
It didn't
Or much, like, more unbelievably, like, because when she first appears, I feel like I'm not finishing a single goddamn sentence. I feel like this book was created by someone that really wanted Zuko and Aang to be gay together at the end of Avatar: The Last Airbender. Or the, like...
Yes.
This author, I would bet money, wrote Harry Draco /fic when she was like 15. And I'm not judging. I wrote dumb fan fictions too, and, like, I know a lot of other people who have done... Like, it's not... But, like...
Yeah, it's literal hate to love. Like, they literally use the words, I fucking hate you.
And it happens fast. They go from, like, I will murder you, I'm having dreams about having sex with whoever kills you, to like, just, like, tied at the hip together.
Yeah.
I am really not selling
I don't want
this book very
to.
well.
I don't want to say that it's foreshadowed, but there is like partway through the book, it's pretty easy to be like, "Oh, they're going to do this, aren't they?"
I was not surprised at all.
The turnaround happens. It's just a very small moment relative to the rest of the story.
Well, and it's a pretty well written moment too. It just happens so abruptly, and then, as I said, we go from like 0 to 80 on like kind of.
Whoa. In fairness, lesbians. And let's be honest, like, that's kind of what we do. We're all here for it. I mean, I'm not going to stereotype other lesbians, but I moved in with my wife, like, not very long after we started dating, so...
Yeah, Cece and I, about 4 months, 5 months.
Yeah, that's about right. And only because we were living
I'm not
in
a
different
lesbian,
states.
but, you know.
For context. Yeah. So, yeah, we're just thirsty. It's really... We're like, I don't care how these two wind up in love. I just want them to fucking be in love.
Tyler and I are like carefully sitting here being like, we are super not qualified to like have opinions on this one.
I'm here. Here I am.
Well, I was just, oh man. Okay, the other thing that annoyed me at the get-go that I did learn to love, though, was just the narration style was grating at first. I liked the irreverence of it, but I feel like the longer you'd go between people talking, the further out the narrator pulled. Mm-hmm. And the more it became like almost truly like third person or even a weird omniscient narrator. But then somebody would talk and it would just like suck back into like Harrow's head.
Is it Gideon's head?
I mean, yeah, Gideon's head. I just wanted to be Harrow.
Okay.
Yeah. Next book you get to be Harrow.
And I eventually ended up like not caring about that much. But it did stand out to me in the beginning because I was like, where am I viewing this from? Because it felt like I kept getting sucked in and pulled back out through it.
It made me get lost a few times, especially listening to an audiobook, so it was harder to like go...
Who's this person again? There's so many characters.
I mean, there is 17 major characters dropped into this murder mystery. Mm-hmm. Or theoretically major characters. 18, there were the twins and the one. Mm-hmm. And then there are the two people that we met from the house before and all of these, and it was just like... Each character was really individual, but there were so many of them that it was hard to find time for any of them.
Yeah, I'm glad I listened to it a second time, because it's definitely a lot. I know the first time I was like, wait, who's this one? Fortunately, like, everybody kind of gets called by, like, a version of a word that represents their house.
Right.
Fourth, fifth,
yeah.
Septimus.
I mean, sometimes it's fourth and fifth, like, just in your face, and sometimes, yeah, it's, like, Septimus, or, like, Harrow is known as Nona Gesimus, which is, you know, vaguely the number 9.
Mm-hmm.
Fifth house
Camilla
was...
Hecht from the 6th.
Yeah.
Fifth house was dad jokes.
Yep. That was their specialty, is dad jokes.
Oh, right, you never finished figuring out which houses were which.
Sixth house was the studying guy and the medicine guy?
Yep.
The medicine house,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
And the archaeologist was in that one too, yeah? Okay. I liked that house a lot. I wanted a lot more time with them.
I didn't really care about the sixth.
While we're on 6th house, I don't care if for spoilers for the sequel or not. I realize we were talking about the names just a second ago, and it's a letter off, but please tell me they don't have Camilla end up doing anything vampire-like.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Carmilla.
I have to... Like, the second book was such a mindfuck. I honestly need to go listen to it again just to understand what happened, because I did not know. I just felt like a lot of crazy.
I should say what I liked about Sixth House is their first appearance where they're like, being like, look how old this stuff is, and then a sword fight happens, because that's pretty much everything I like in life right there. Later on, they're a little less interesting, but that opening scene, like, was one of my favorite scenes in the book. So I'm like, okay, I'm here now. Seventh house was I straight up don't.
Dulcinea.
Dulcinea.
Oh,
Septimus.
yeah. That's why.
The sick hottie.
I was spoiled on them, so I just was already like, oh, that's not that's not what I was thinking. And then 8th house was the religious zealots that I wanted to die really fast.
Oh, yeah. They did.
And the voice actor for the audiobook has the sword fighter one talk like this the whole time. And I'm like, that's not the one that should be talking like that.
You're doing it wrong.
The shitty religious zealot is the one, not the zealot of the religious zealot that's like, no, I have my honor.
Mm-hmm.
I have my honor.
God, yeah, they're so weird. I think they did that because they're supposed
to be like twice
backwards
his age,
characters.
yeah. It's the uncle is the young one and the nephew is the older one.
And you're like, what the fuck is happening here?
I mean, I have nephews that are only 10 years younger. It's not terribly hard to go the other direction.
But was it just a mundane explanation, or was it a weird magical explanation where the necromancer was reversing his life or staying young?
I just assumed the mundane, but with how wild this book is, everything you said kind of works.
Mm-hmm.
Also, you missed the 4th house, which is my 3rd favorite house after the 5th and
I
the
thought
9th.
4th house was the twins.
4th house is the teens, who I think are just hilarious.
You're right, that's it. The teens are great.
Mm-hmm.
That everybody hates, but they're just a delight.
Yeah, they kept calling them the terrible twins, and I'm like, or terrible teens. Mm-hmm. I'm like, but they have done literally nothing terrible once this entire time. They're kind of just
adorable and hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
They make fun of Magnus, and it's goofy, but it's
they're a bunch of teens that are sent to the Clue murder necromancer house with their weird, goofy uncle, and they're like, God, you're embarrassing, and then he died, and they're like, well, time to murder somebody.
If not Hero, they were my next choice down for who I would have preferred it to be narrated by.
Oh my God, that would have been so
I would have actually
fun.
been really on board with that. They would have had less references to dirty mags, but...
By the way, Gideon reads dirty titty mags.
Often?
Often.
I'm trying to find the right way to phrase this that doesn't make me sound like an outrageous pervert. I wish they had kept that up with her throughout the whole book. Because they're like, when you first meet her, she's like, I'm a sword fighter, I'm thirsty, I want to look at the titty mags and read comics about the military, where the necromancers clearly want to go down on me. And then they just drop that. It stops being a personality thing.
I don't think Gideon got to bring her porn mags with her, so there's that.
I guess.
She could have hit him with her longsword.
That's true. I mean, she wasn't supposed to take that either.
Harrow calls her Griddle the entire time. And when I first heard it, I thought it was a pejorative, they're a slur of some kind that the house uses against her, but then suddenly they're soups in love in invisible queer, not invisible, but not explicitly their fucking queerness. And she still keeps calling her Griddle, and I'm like, maybe stop with the childhood bullying name?
I feel like I remember it coming up in the 2nd book, maybe, but again, that I don't know what happened in that book.
That's fine. We haven't read it, so you could have told us literally anything and we would have believed
Make it
you.
up. That happened. I think even if that didn't happen, I feel like there was the implication that it was because they kind of grew up together, that it was just childhood nickname thing. I don't know.
Yeah, because I mean, it's,
I get it, but
because doesn't Griddle date back to? I mean, she was always kind of pretty terrible to her, but there was a point where the terribleness ramped up.
Yeah,
and Griddle dates to before that, right?
That's possible. This is one of the few times where usually anytime there's the hate fuck relationship lining up, I'm like, no. I don't like the we hate each other but are in love with each other meme. I get not trope.
Yeah.
Because it's unhealthy relationships. That's just, you shouldn't hate your spouse. But for some reason with these two, and it might have helped that they were 17 and 18, that I was a little more I can kind of see it.
And both giant trauma babies.
Giant trauma babies. And both of them are giant dicks. Like,
Yes.
it's not even because of the wild power imbalance of the hated one of the entire house and the leader of the entire house, but like as the moment they're alone together, their balance versus each other becomes a lot more like the power dynamics become a lot more even.
Mm-hmm.
It was implicated a couple times through dialogue that like there was actually quite a bit more dueling between the different houses.
Yeah,
in
they
some
did
of
be
their
like, you
in
got
some
my
of their
key from
downtime.
so-and-so, and
Mm-hmm.
I wish we would have got some of those.
Yeah. I think because we were stuck with Gideon, though, that might have been part of the, like...
Tyler's point is being really well made here.
Gideon is just... I mean, she's the ultimate himbo, really. There's just not... She just wants to hit stuff with swords.
It's very rare that I say that, like, a book is the wrong format for a story, but I do kind of feel like the book was the wrong format for this story. It's probably the only one where she could have told the entire story she wanted to tell. Because, like, a comic, it would have been hard to keep this running long enough.
Mm-hmm.
And a TV show is just hard to make, and it would be really hard to sell. It'd either be really hard or really easy to sell lesbian sword necromancers, but, like... the budget would be a yearly.
Yeah.
Also being a
touchy-go.
no-name person. Like, this is her first novel again. Like, this is... Neil Gaiman's like, I want to write a story about lesbian space necromancers. Netflix is like, here's $20 million. Like,
Fuck off, Neil Gaiman. I mean,
don't.
don't.
He's
But
amazing.
also, like, you don't get to have lesbian space necromancers. That's just my feeling. It's like...
Because she has them.
Yes. Other people can do lesbian space... I mean, he could have lesbian space
I
necromancers,
feel
but,
like
like...
that'd actually be something he'd be pretty good at.
Probably.
But...
But, like, not as... They need to be not, like... I don't know. It's the whole, like, writing in your lane thing of, like... Have those characters in your stories, but don't write from their perspective because they're not your story.
Mm-hmm.
That's where shit gets complicated.
Yeah. Yeah. I've had those arguments with people.
As someone who has started
don't
making comic
end.
book characters again and, like, I don't have anything finished yet, but I've been making, and, like, I need to include this character. What's the right level of, like, including this character and having them as a, like, main cast member as opposed to a background cast member versus not wanting to tell their story for them versus, like, yeah, it is just... That's like your fave is problematic part the second.
Yeah.
But not because it's a completely different conversation.
It's a whole thing. We don't have to go into that right now. But we could if you want.
Lesbian Space Necromancers!
Lesbian Space Necromancers! Love them so much.
Now, as much as I've been whining, I do want to say, I mean, I laid in bed reading this book for 8 hours straight on Saturday. I really
And we're
dug it.
entertained. Like,
Yeah.
it's...
I was super entertained. Like, I don't want anybody to come away from this episode thinking I hated the book. And that I wouldn't recommend it, because I would. I do feel like people should know what they're getting into going into it, because Gideon...
This book has its flaws.
It's a first book.
Yeah.
For a first book, like, damn.
Yeah. I couldn't write this.
It's one of those things that a thing I learned from podcasting. If we have, like, this was really good, but I do have critiques, the episode becomes just about those critiques. But if you're like, this was a bad movie, but I had a lot of fun watching Wonder Woman 1984,
God damn it.
then the entire movie is me being like, oh no, you're right. But it was a wild thrill ride.
Yeah. I like, my friend was like, have you read this book? And I was like, what? I haven't even heard of this book. What are you talking about? And she was like, lesbians in space. And I was like, what the fuck? How have I not heard of this book? Because that's like what I do outside of reading about Irish paganism is read lesbian stuff and like watch lesbian stuff. And most of it is really, really bad. So like in that perspective, this book was the main course of eating a meal, and everything else is just junk food. It was so good. So good.
another one of those things where you need to correct me very much if I am wrong here. From what I've been able to gather, a lot of gay media is kind of where a lot of genre media was about 20 years ago, of like, there's some real pearls in there, but a lot of it is like
bad.
And kind of schlocky is a term that I
watch a lot of bad lesbian movies and stuff, and it's because I just want representation. And if I have to watch bad shit, I guess that's what's going to happen, which is why I started writing, because I was like, I can't do this anymore. I need something with substance. So, not that what I wrote really necessarily had substance, but at least had substance for me going through.
Book that you wrote, so
they're
that's
all bad. They're all bad. Don't read any of them. There's some excellent self-promo for you.
The author's dilemma.
Yeah, so it's just nice to have good stuff, because it's like all the movies are either extra bad and or about someone who is married to a man falling in love with a woman and then cheating on her husband. That's the plot of like 50% of lesbian movies.
And you're also like, hey, maybe don't cheat on your husband?
Yeah.
Like, if you're gay, be gay. Don't get me wrong.
I'm excited for you
like,
to be gay, but can you not cheat on your husband? Like, and also, do we have to keep making movies about quote unquote straight women then cheating on their husbands because they realize that they're not straight? It's a bad time. Do something better. Do something like Gideon. So great.
Yeah. Yes. I definitely enjoy that. There is no homophobia in it, and you just don't have to deal with it for...
So excited that's finally becoming the trend, because I know people have been talking about it for a long time. Like, we can stop making media about queers coming out. There are other things that happen in our lives, so it's nice to be at that point finally.
Well, and I can get why for a lot of queer creators telling a story about coming out was like important for a long time, but we are reaching a point that like hey, other stories exist, I guess.
And also like
I'm very white man talking.
Younger generations are reaching the point where they're like, why do people even have to come out? Like, that's so weird. Why is that even a thing? So, yay! Progress.
Yeah, some of my nieces and nephews who were like 10 were talking about like someone being a bigot, and they brought, what? What?
What does that even...
What is happening there even? Like, just roll with it, kid.
What's wrong
like,
with you old people?
Not roll with it, fight this, but like... I don't got the time to explain this one right now, buddy.
Yes. Yeah, so Gideon was... All right, I was going somewhere with my friend to... Oh yeah, I think I went where I was going. It's fine. It's great.
This could lead to interesting or just no results whatsoever, but... Since your head has been so deep in Irish paganism, is there anything from there that if you could rewrite it and port it into Gideon, that you would?
Oh, wow, that's a
loaded fucking question right there.
We went places with that.
Well, I don't know anything about it, so I'm curious, and I was thinking, because of how death-based it was, I was thinking about, like, Mesoamerican mythology while reading this. I was like, oh, all the skulls fit so good. If somebody pops out with a maqueetle, I will not be surprised.
The tricky part is that, like, in Irish lore, there's not a lot. I mean, death isn't talked about a lot, and it's pretty... I mean, there's a pretty blasé attitude about it, because most of the lore comes from, like, the Bronze Age-ish. So... You know, people didn't live that long, and they were out to, you know, be a hero and then die.
Fair.
Fight some people and die.
Fair.
I'm gonna drink a lot and then die. I don't know. Pretty much all the lore. So, like, they don't really talk about death a lot, except for a part where they do talk about...
People die a lot, but they're not necessarily going into
it's just a thing that is. It's not like a big deal, so they don't really talk about death things. But I think it would be... I don't know. I think it would be really cool for them to have, because there is reference to, like, a death world outside of... It's actually an island, like, off of Ireland. That's, like, the place where people go when they die. Or some people go when they die. And I think that would be a really cool place to play with necromancy, and because it's also so vague about what happens there, it's like you don't die and go to heaven or go to hell. Like some people get to go on a boat over to this island. So that might be really cool.
Okay. Yeah. I can see how you could play with at
Put
least
it in
that sort of
space.
idea and like...
Yeah. Or take it as like, here's the planet or the other house that people go to when they die and don't keep getting fucked around with by necromancers, because, you know.
Nothing good turns out for anybody in this book.
No. You die and then people just use your body.
Even the people who win, things go badly for them.
Is anyone going to be surprised if it turns out like, Emperor's been the baddie the entire time?
No.
Like maybe there shouldn't be an empire based on necromancy and maybe the rest of the universe is actually nice, wonderful, normal people.
It is interesting to see necromancy treated just
Second book
as...
spoilers.
just treated as like a normal thing as opposed to usually evil. It actually kind of makes me think, with what you're saying, Kel, the necromancers here are treated in what I imagine is like pretty traditional Western necromancer look for like Western fantasy. Of it's almost kind of Edwardian. They talk about like white silk shirts that some of them are wearing, and they're using rapiers.
Yep.
Well, the
like
cavaliers
the
are
flowy, kind of like thin gowns and stuff that they're wearing.
Where does this come from? Like this stylization of necromancers, like, you know, we can tell like a lot of Hammer horror trends goes straight back to like Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. How we see vampires will always be Bram Stoker from now on, pretty much. Like, where did we get like weird, floofy Lord Byron necromancers? Like, because I don't think he ever actually wrote anything about like raising the dead.
I have no idea.
It works. It's a little trashy, but that's okay.
It's good to have.
I feel like at some point they just started conflating necromancy with like the floofier vampire fashion when like Mad Scientist went out of style. And parts of this book are kind of Mad Scientist-y. So.
They do sort of live, and they kind of dive between the three. There's the Mad Scientist Necromancers, there's the Floofy Edwardian, and then there's the Leather Daddy Necromancers. There's like the triangle of Necromancers, and Gideon just like stepped in the middle and was like, this is our spot!
This is my sword.
Some floofy leather.
Magnus, I kind
in a
of imagine
laboratory.
it's just Brian Blessed, if you know who that is.
Yes. I don't imagine him, but that's amazing.
You ever see Flash Gordon? Okay, Star Wars Episode 1, the leader of the Gungans.
Oh,
That
okay,
voice, that, like,
Boss Nass.
without some of the racist subtones of the Gungans, but,
Oh,
beautiful.
Brian Blessed.
he's in an episode of Doctor Who, and I'm like, this is a terrible episode, but damn, am I having fun watching it? Like,
Like, there's got to be an app that's just like a Brian Blessed alarm clock, right?
oh, he's supposed to be out of his gourd, too.
That's beautiful.
I think he might still currently hold the world record for the highest descent up Everest without oxygen.
Jesus Christ. He's like 6.5
you
feet
doing with your
tall and with a
life?
huge beard. And every line he does is like this.
And he really likes to cuss.
So he came from theater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And steadfastly refused to adapt. Like Patrick Stewart learned how to do like the inside voice. I just don't think Brian Blessed has
We don't
one.
do that here.
Yeah, Brian Blessed doesn't do inside. Gideon, though.
Gideon.
Did I just miss it? Did they actually indicate that Gideon was as fucking huge as she was?
Yes.
At any point before, like, 200 pages in?
I don't know if they did it before that. I think they kind of tried to make it happen by, like, interactions between Harrow and Gideon, because Harrow is pretty short and small, and Gideon is just a mass of muscle and very tall.
See, I'd always gotten like, you know, chunk of meat, like big muscle. I hadn't, my mind's eye hadn't put her as overly tall. And as you said, it could just be I missed it when I was listening to
I
it,
think
or
it's in there. But she also wields a two-handed sword, which means she has to be tall enough to do that.
yeah,
so.
that's
Yeah, by the time enough people, like, once people started commenting finally on how, or like her actual physical appearance, I was like, oh Jesus, she's like Chick Dresden.
You are a beast.
Yeah, she makes me think of a character from an... I'm just going to stop referencing anime. Rude Soldier Louis is great.
No, we're not going to stop referencing anime because...
This is an anime in novel form.
Because Magnus reminded me of the dude that dies in Full Metal Alchemist rather than Brian Blessed.
The dude with the... I'm making a motion, the little cowlick for hair.
Yeah. No, not the guy with cowlick for hair. The guy that We're All Sad gets offed when he's talking on the phone.
Oh, okay.
Maze Hughes.
Different show.
That's his name, Maze Hughes.
Who was your favorite? Well, I know your favorite was Magnus, yeah. Besides main characters, did you have
He had
favorites?
great dad energy. I was listening on Father's Day.
He was so sweet.
I mean, I actually did really like Camilla and
Yeah.
Sextus was
Yeah.
Palamedes.
Six House. The...
Sex Pal.
Yeah. Well, they got the fun, like... They got one of the better dueling scenes.
Mm-hmm.
And when, like, the scientist guy lost his temper afterwards, I thought was one of the better scenes in the book. I actually liked the dueling scenes, even though both of them were very short, better than I liked the final boss fights. But for a very specific reason. The final boss fight falls into a trap that I get tired of they hit it with everything they have. They have nothing possible left. And it looks like it kills them. And then they step out of the smoke again. But then suddenly something happens and they go Super Saiyan. And then they hit them with everything they possibly could have. And she steps out. It's like the 3-step bosses in like all the old N64 Zelda games. Like,
this isn't even my final form.
Yeah. And I was really into it, but by the time we got to like the 3rd or 4th final form, I was like, okay, guys.
We got this. Just either die or kill, like, be done. Oh, that's legit.
Well, and it's a fine line with... I mean, it's a fine line with anything of how much of a fight you can show before it becomes too much. Mm-hmm. You know, Return of the King, that final battle was too long.
Yes.
2 Towers was just about right. Fellowship, arguably a little too short for, like, the fight scenes. Like, where to find that is...
Yep.
tough. And you don't know you've crossed the line of too long until you are suddenly like...
Oh, no.
Can't go back.
Yeah. Just bam. It is way too long now.
I liked listening to the dueling scenes because they were well done and like specific, and as people who fight in life, it was fun to listen to. Oh, how did they do that? Oh, they were doing this thing. Ooh, and like talking about like the techniques and the particulars of the duels.
Well, and I think shorter fight scenes do help of it. Keeps it easier to like visualize what's going on as opposed to the later one. And again, this is not me just beating up Gideon, but the fault of this, eventually I'm like, oh, look, more bones are happening. What's happening? I don't know, a fucking bunch of bones.
Bones.
Like,
There's bones everywhere. A lot of bones.
Just
Big
bones.
bones, little bones, bones.
okay, now I'm just thinking of Captain Holt from Brooklyn Nine-Nine going, bone! I don't know if you've ever watched that show, Tyler, but...
Not enough.
Oh, it's so great.
Lovely.
Not enough. Oh, yeah, so much bones just flying everywhere,
Bones
especially during
everywhere.
those last battles.
Well, and they talk... Actually, Hera was pretty cool of seeing her power levels, and they tell you she's scary. And they'd never...
And then she levels up over the course of the story.
Yeah. There's never a point of, like, you're not really that scary, whatever. No, she is legitimately terrifying with what she does. And the idea of, like, I can take this molar and pull an entire skeleton out of it is a kind of necromancy that I've never even thought of before
Yeah,
this
it's
book.
wild.
So,
Yeah.
I think my favorite allusion to Hera's power that I don't remember if it gets specifically addressed, but the fact, like, in the beginning of the book, they talk about her parents are her puppets. They are dead. They have been dead for a long time, and she makes them live mildly normal lives when she, like, as she's going around and actually running the Ninth House because her parents are dead. So, like, yeah. And then when her and Gideon leave the ninth house, she has to be like, my parents won't be around.
They will sequester themselves.
Yeah. So I think that's a good allusion to Harrow's power of, like, she just puppeting her parents through life all the time.
I feel like if sucking in someone else's soul into yourself to make yourself a lictor works, like there should be something extra for like a whole generation of kids being sacrificed just so that you could be born. Like that should be at least half lictorhood all by itself for Harrow. I don't know.
They are surprisingly chill about that revelation.
Yeah, well, it is necromancy.
I know, and death and necromancy, and it's you just kind of become numb to it a little bit, but like, all right, we're in major spoilers territory here, but still, we find out that Hera is only alive because they murdered 200 children and tried to murder Gideon, but it didn't take. And then Gideon's like...
Because Gideon's Wolverine? And has a healing factor?
Okay, I guess we can be in love. That's fine.
Yeah.
Turns out you're literally describing yourself... Like, Hera admits how terrible it is. And it's not her fault. Like, I get that. But also, she's like, I'm a fucking war crime. And they're like, yes, they are a war crime. Like, I'm straight up calling you that. I'm going to hug you and be in love with you now. Like, Jesus, Gideon.
I mean, Gideon didn't die, so it's fine, right?
Gideon wouldn't have liked any of those other kids anyway.
That's true. Gideon would have beat up every one of those 200 kids.
Yes. Stolen all of their lunch money.
I'm just saying the random morality of this, of like where it fluctuates. Like, that one person died, how dare you? Now I'm gonna go kill like 6 people.
Yeah, there's not really a moral code.
Which I suppose is going to happen when it's a world this obsessed with death. Because the places where they do get mad is, hey, I liked that person.
Yeah, and it's kind of like, I mean, they're all, in the beginning of, when they're in the ninth house still, they keep talking about how it's kind of like an honor to die and then serve the ninth house as a dead body. So, what is death?
Just say the word bones too many times in this book.
So many bones.
Bones. We should cover Bone at some point. Anyway.
We're gonna need like 2 or 3 episodes to cover that fucking epic.
Oh, Bone. Bones. Do we have anything else on Gideon? Or
without spoilers, are they going to, at some point, reveal more why Gideon didn't die there?
Yes.
Okay. Because I would have been really mad at the...
Does it have something to do with who's in the tomb?
I forgot about, like, they mentioned the locked tomb very early, and then they just drop it until they're like, by the way...
It's a big thing in the second book.
I'm desperately hoping, I'm just saying, they're like, locked tomb, freaking later on. Oh my god, you stepped in the locked tomb? And you're like, build up, woman.
Plot twist.
Oh no, I kind of liked that whole like Harrow's like, yeah, so I went in there when I was like 6. I'm like, what?
And you're like, this place that the ninth house exists to keep closed, you're telling me you just fucking went in?
And that's when I was like, this is why I like her.
Well, yeah, when you're created to be the spoiled god, when you're created to be everything Draco Malfoy thinks he is throughout the 7 Harry Potter books, then yeah, that's the kind of stuff you're gonna do.
Oh my god. That's so good.
Oh man, now I just really want to read the second book again.
Do it.
Oh, I'm
Now's the time.
Like I was listening to the first book again today just to like brush up again, and so I'm gonna finish that again and then listen to the second one again because, like I said, I don't know what happened. I just the whole time I was listening to it at work, and I just was like had shock face the whole time because I was like, I don't know what's going on.
I like that.
It was wild. It was probably one of the most wild books I've ever read.
I'm gonna buy it right now.
It does sound very Dune the more you describe it. Not actually like the story of Dune, but just wild space empire. What is even happening? Am I losing my mind?
I haven't read Dune, but from what I've heard, yes.
I love it. Yeah, check this book out. Especially, like I just said, we've spent most of this critiquing it, but it is
Quite
a very enjoyable book.
It's the best lesbian book I've read in a very long time, and I read a lot, so stoked.
She's the one that qualified to comment on that. That's the best recommendation we're going to get.
Yeah, I dug it.
Yeah, check it out. It's good. It's not the deepest thing I've ever read, but that's fine. Recommendations.
I'll start.
All right. We both stared at you, so I hope so.
The the weird mix of irreverence and kind of contemporary language mixed into this post-apocalyptic sci-fi fantasy setting kind of weirdly reminded me of this show, so I will recommend the TV series Plebs. It's a British comedy series set it's two I think they're from Gaul. Anyway, these two guys moved to Rome back during ancient Rome days and are trying to pass themselves off as being Roman citizens so that they're not looked down upon as being lower class. And it's kind of a weird workplace comedy, but it's all contemporary language. They don't even try to throw it back at all.
I kind of like that sometimes. Like,
So yeah, I'll go with Plebs.
Nice.
All right. I had one that actually related to this book in some way, shape, like necromancers or space or lesbians or whatever. And I don't remember what it is. So we'll go with the Louise Simonson and Walt Simonson run on the original X Factor. Louise Simonson being a writer, Walt Simonson being a artist. They're not always a creative team that work together, but they were both working at Marvel, and they're like, hey, you guys want to do this book? No, sure, we'll try it out. And it was the original, the original X Factor was the original 5 X-Men teamed up together for the first time since like the 60s. And when it first launched, it was a decent book, but it had some definite flaws. And then they gave it to these two, and the first thing they did was like define who Apocalypse is. The big X-Man villain outside of Magneto. It took place in the 80s, so it's right at this really interesting point in comic history where the stories are getting longer and more serious and experimenting with what we can do in storytelling style, but it is before the big event comics thing became the fold, so we don't have to worry every 6 months of now they gotta go hang out in Empire, and then Secret Invasion is happening, and those two events took place literally 15 years apart from each other, but I'm sticking with it. Yeah, it's real good. Also, Walt Simonson created Frog of Thunder over when he was running Thor, so dude knows his chops.
I'm gonna take my guest prerogative and do 2 recommendations.
All right.
I didn't know that was a guest prerogative.
I'm
cheating for
taking
years.
it now! The first one is mildly relevant to Gideon, or if you like Gideon, or if you're not sure if you want to go into Gideon, or if you're thinking, man, Gideon was terrible and I should go watch better lesbian things, you should go watch Motherland, which is, it's very queer. It's kind of a B-rated show about military witches, like a military branch of witches.
I love everything about this.
It's women in uniform, so fuck yes. The show is it's not kind of campy, it's a lot campy. It's just, I don't know, I mean, kind of got the 100 vibes, and it's just like a whole...
Bruce Campbell's our favorite actor on this podcast. Selling us on being campy is not a hard sell here.
So Motherland, if you need something Gideon-esque, it's a fun show, and the 2nd season just came out, which I haven't started yet, but I'm excited to watch it. And my second recommendation is the Blind Boy podcast, which I just recommend everywhere all the time. Blind Boy is an Irish artist, writer, musician. He's 1/3 of the Rubber Bandits, who are an Irish music group. He is like the continued living tradition of Irish bards. That's Blind Boy. His podcast is filled with really great mental health things. Like, it's the best therapy I've ever had, but he does hot takes all the time where he just pulls random shit out of his ass and connects it together, and you're like, where are we going? And you're just learning about weird random shit. I've learned so much stuff from his podcast that I never had any interest in, so
that sounds super cool.
It's so great. And his whole deal is to make sure that you get a podcast hug, so super high quality production value, and like he just talks in a nice, like, level tone all the time. And there's, like, a little bit of really light elevator jazz piano in the background all the time. It's just so good. So nice to listen to.
As I'm sitting here hacking up a lung, and, like, my voice is cracking when I'm getting too excited.
Yeah, I don't know if you gave him a hug with your voice today.
Nope, there is no hugs from me today. I apologize, everybody.
Just hacking.
Well, that's awesome. Thank you for coming back.
Yeah, thanks for having me back. I'm always here to talk about Sword Lesbians.
Yeah, we've already talked about other possible places to bring you.
Yes.
It'll be fun. It'll be super fun.
Cora.
Like for Cora.
Xena we've talked about.
Yes.
Other serious heavy topics we've talked about.
Lesbians.
Anything that you come up with that you want to come on to make us talk about?
That's Cora.
Cora. I want to talk about Cora all the time, all day, every day.
That works. That works. I need to actually finish it. I never did.
So fucking good. I didn't finish it until it came onto Netflix, so I understand.
There's just not enough hours in the day anymore.
I understand.
But next week will not be Cora. Next week.
Next
time. Someday I'll stop doing that. Probably when we go back to weekly. Next time we will be checking out the first season of Ted Lasso.
Yes, you will.
Okay, I will be checking out the first season of Ted Lasso. You'll be on your 14th rewatch.
You're probably pretty close.
It came out last year, man.
I know, and it's also only 5 hours long.
Yeah, it's 10 episodes. It's not a terribly difficult thing. We generally don't do full seasons anymore, but for
it's
5 hours long, that's fine.
So that's going to be great. I'm going to be so happy just to hear what you have to say about it.
I fell into a YouTube hole of watching clips of this at lunch today, and that's what made me be like, all right, it's time.
I hope that it feels as much like a television hug for you as it did for me.
Well, hopefully my voice will be better by next time, so we can hug it out.
Yeah.
We'll hug it out, nerds.
Aww.
Yeah.
Nerd hugs.
Nerd hugs.
All right. In the meantime, we're your generals of nerdery. I'm Zach.
I'm Tyler.
Dismissed.
Hi everybody, General Tyler here. If you like the show, please hit subscribe however you're listening to us right now. Also, if you could rate and review us however you're listening to us right now, or preferably over at Apple Podcasts, we would super appreciate it, as the whole world is ran on algorithms, and we want to be all up in them, getting our voice out to more places. Also, tell your friends. We always appreciate that. If you want to get in contact with us, ask us questions, give us comments, email us generalnerderypod@gmail.com. You can also contact us through our website, www.generalnerdcast.com. While you're there, check out all of our back catalog, or click the links up at the top, as we are part of the Earworm Podcast Network. Go check out all of our sister shows. We're involved with most of them, so if you already like listening to us talk, it might be in your best interest. And if you want to check out everything from the network, head over to earworm.com, EARVVYRM.com. We'd super appreciate it. Love you all. Have a good one.